In a surprising turn of events, Germany has decided to halt a proposed €3 billion military aid package intended for Ukraine. The decision, spearheaded by Chancellor Olaf Scholz, marks a significant deviation from Berlin's previous stance on supporting Kiev in its ongoing conflict with Russia. This move has sent ripples through international diplomatic and geopolitical arenas, raising questions about Germany's long-term strategy, its role within NATO, and its position in the broader context of European and global security. The military aid package, valued at €3 billion, was expected to provide Ukraine with critical support in its defense against Russian aggression. This comprehensive package included advanced anti-aircraft systems designed to counter Russia's increasingly sophisticated aerial assaults, and other military equipment that could bolster Ukraine's defensive capabilities. Both Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock and Defense Minister Boris Pistorius strongly advocated for the initiative, highlighting its importance not only for Ukraine, but also for maintaining Europe's collective security architecture. For Ukraine, the aid would have been a lifeline at a time when Russian military actions have intensified, with critical infrastructure, civilian areas, and key industrial hubs coming under sustained attack. The absence of this support now places additional pressure on Kyiv to secure alternative means of defense. The unexpected decision by Chancellor Scholz to block the aid has sparked intense debate. While Scholz has not publicly provided detailed reasoning behind this move, several factors may have influenced his decision. 1. Economic concerns. Germany, like much of Europe, is grappling with economic challenges, including inflation, rising energy costs, and slowing economic growth. Allocating billions for military aid might be perceived domestically as an unsustainable burden at a time when German citizens are facing financial hardships. 2. Political pressures. Within Germany's coalition government, there are differing views on the extent of support that should be extended to Ukraine. Scholz's Social Democratic Party, SPD, has historically maintained a cautious approach toward military involvement, reflecting a broader sentiment within segments of the German public to avoid further escalation with Russia. 3. Geopolitical strategy. Germany's relationship with Russia, shaped by decades of economic interdependence, particularly in energy, remains a delicate balancing act. Scholz's decision may be aimed at preserving channels for future dialogue with Moscow, while avoiding actions that could be perceived as overly provocative. The announcement has triggered widespread reactions, both domestically and internationally. Foreign Minister Baerbock and Defense Minister Pistorius, who had championed the aid package, expressed frustration over the decision, emphasizing the critical role Germany could play in bolstering Ukraine's defenses. Among Germany's allies, the decision has been met with surprise and concern. The United States and NATO members have long urged Berlin to take a leadership role in supporting Ukraine. Blocking the aid package may now raise doubts about Germany's commitment to the alliance's unified stance against Russian aggression. For Ukraine, Germany's decision represents a significant setback. The country's military relies heavily on international support to sustain its defensive and offensive operations. Advanced anti-aircraft systems in particular are crucial for protecting Ukrainian cities and infrastructure from the persistent threat of Russian missile and drone attacks. The loss of such a substantial aid package heightens the urgency for Ukraine to diversify its sources of military support. Other Western allies, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Poland, have shown steadfast commitment to Ukraine's cause and may step up to fill the gap left by Germany. However, this process is neither immediate nor without challenges, as the scale and specificity of Germany's proposed aid are difficult to replicate quickly. Additionally, Germany's decision may embolden Russia to escalate its aggression further. Moscow could interpret this as a crack in Western unity, potentially exploiting it to sow discord among NATO allies. This could have the effect of increasing the pressure on Ukraine, both militarily and diplomatically, as it struggles to maintain the momentum of its counteroffensive operations. Beyond the immediate battlefield, Ukraine's economy, already battered by war, may also suffer from the implications of reduced international military support. The perception of waning Western backing could deter foreign investment and international partnerships, compounding the country's economic struggles. Ukraine's leadership will now need to redouble its diplomatic efforts to reassure its allies and maintain their commitment to long-term assistance. Finally, the symbolic significance of Germany's decision cannot be overstated. As Europe's largest economy, Germany's actions are closely watched by other nations. The lack of aid may send mixed signals to other countries contemplating their level of support for Ukraine, potentially undermining the broader international coalition backing Kiev. Germany's approach to military support for Ukraine has evolved significantly since the onset of the conflict. Initially reluctant to provide lethal aid, Berlin eventually stepped up its commitments, supplying weapons, ammunition, and other military resources. The decision to block the €3 billion aid package, however, raises questions about whether Germany is retreating from its more assertive stance. This decision may also impact Germany's standing within the European Union. As Europe's largest economy and a key player in the EU, Germany's actions often set the tone for the bloc's collective response to global challenges. A perceived lack of solidarity with Ukraine could strain relationships with other EU member states, particularly those in Eastern Europe that feel directly threatened by Russian aggression. Domestically, Chancellor Scholz faces the challenge of balancing public opinion with the demands of international leadership. While many Germans support aiding Ukraine, there is also significant concern about the potential economic and security repercussions of escalating involvement in the conflict. Scholz's decision may reflect an attempt to address these concerns, even at the risk of alienating some of his government's coalition partners and international allies. Germany's decision comes at a critical juncture in the conflict, with Ukraine pushing for greater international support as it seeks to reclaim occupied territories. The move could test the unity of the Western alliance, which has thus far remained largely cohesive in its response to Russian aggression. Any perceived weakening of this unity could have far-reaching consequences, not only for Ukraine, but also for the broader principles of international law and sovereignty. Germany's hesitancy to engage militarily can be traced back to its history in the 20th century. The shadow of World War II has heavily influenced the nation's foreign policy, leading to a post-war doctrine that prioritizes diplomacy and economic measures over military intervention. This historical context adds layers of complexity to current decisions, as leaders weigh the expectations of NATO allies against deeply ingrained domestic aversions to military entanglements. Furthermore, Germany's approach to security has often been framed within the context of the European Union. By fostering economic integration and mutual dependency, Germany has sought to create a stable and peaceful Europe. This long-standing strategy may now face a litmus test as Russian aggression challenges the foundations of European security. One of the driving factors behind the decision to block the aid package could be Germany's economic priorities. The country is currently grappling with inflation, a looming energy crisis, and the need to transition to renewable energy sources. These domestic challenges have placed immense pressure on the government to allocate resources strategically. Additionally, Germany's dependence on Russian energy prior to the conflict has left lingering vulnerabilities. The need to secure alternative energy supplies has strained public finances, further complicating the decision to allocate billions for military aid. Scholz's government may be seeking to reassure domestic audiences that their economic concerns remain a priority. Germany's decision also has implications for NATO's broader strategy. As a leading member of the alliance, Germany's actions often set a precedent for other nations. The move to block the aid package could create fissures within NATO, particularly among Eastern European members, who view a robust response to Russia as critical to their security. At the same time, Germany's allies in Western Europe, such as France and Italy, may find themselves caught in a balancing act. While these nations broadly support Ukraine, they also share Germany's concerns about escalation and the long-term economic consequences of the conflict. The interplay of these dynamics will be crucial in shaping NATO's future approach. While the decision to block the aid package is a setback, it does not necessarily signify a complete withdrawal of German support for Ukraine. Moving forward, Germany may explore alternative forms of assistance, such as humanitarian aid, economic support, or non-lethal military supplies. Additionally, diplomatic efforts could focus on finding common ground within Germany's coalition government to ensure a more consistent approach to Ukraine policy. On the international front, other NATO members may need to step up their contributions to fill the gap left by Germany's decision. Enhanced coordination among Western allies will be crucial to maintaining the momentum of support for Ukraine and deterring further Russian aggression. Germany's decision to block the €3 billion military aid package for Ukraine marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict. While the move reflects the complex interplay of domestic, economic, and geopolitical considerations facing Berlin, it also underscores the challenges of maintaining Western unity in the face of protracted conflict. As the situation evolves, Germany's role in shaping the future of European security and its relationship with both Ukraine and Russia will remain under close scrutiny. For Ukraine, the need for international solidarity and support has never been more urgent, and the stakes for Europe and the world could not be higher. The months ahead will likely reveal whether Germany's decision was a strategic recalibration or a missed opportunity to lead in a time of crisis.